Hello and welcome to this week's LCK video. Similar to the LPL video yesterday, I am not doing a recap, although I did say I was going to do it last week. Next week we will have a recap with the top performers and all that. Stats were just too much. As you can tell by the title of this video, though, it is in a similar vein to yesterday's. We are looking at the bottom four teams in the LCK right now and trying to determine who is the likeliest team to get to regional finals. Who is going to take somebody else's place out of the top six at the moment? And we're going to look at the last 3 years because this has happened the last 3 years where at least one team, if not two, have found a way to recover after about 14 games or 14 series in spring to be able to get to regional finals. Now, none of these teams go to Worlds, but at the same time, I think it's something to say, hey, one of these teams, based on the last 3 years, is going to find a way. So currently, DRX, FearX, and Brion are 3-11. And then Nongshim are 2-12. The worst team to find a way was last year with DRX. So DRX were able to leapfrog KDF and Bro to get into the top 6. It wouldn't shock me if Sandbox, well, I don't know if Sandbox was a team that fell out. I think they were. And DRX made a couple changes after March of last year. We saw Duck Dom, who was injured and trying to play through it, go inactive and then get put on the academy team for the rest of the year. And Paddock, a very young player with, a lot of aggression on the Rift, go in his place. And he got the team to regional finals alongside Barrel. So a lot of people should give him more credit. Kiahu got replaced by Fate. And then Juhan and Krako, the team decided to go a little more 50-50 in the jungle as the year went along. And that allowed them to find a way. So they made multiple changes to their roster. And that does not mean that you have to do that as one of these four teams. In the case of DRX, FearX, Brion, or Nongshim. And that DRX roster was 3-11 after 14 series. In 2022, we had two teams find a way. KT and Live Sandbox. So, KT went from Arya to Vikla in the mid lane, and that pretty much decided it. They were able to figure out how they wanted to attack mid lane and who to go with for the rest of the year. And that was the only difference really between KT's roster from spring to summer after about 14 series of spring. Coaching staff remained the same. Live Sandbox were also 4-10, and they made a change. They did monkey with their roster a bit in spring early on. They had almost a 10-man roster and committed to 5 for summer. And most importantly, Ice and Envy. Ice now on Team BDS in the LEC, and Envy, who was on Brion in the LCK, were both replaced by Prince, who is now on Team Lee, was on FlyQuest. And we saw Live Sandbox, if we recall, in 2022 go on a massive run in summer and really shocked a lot of people. Prince performing at a high level. And the full committal to 5 players was a big deal, in my opinion. And therefore they were 4-10. So they found a way as well. They made some changes and improved because of it. In 2021, 2 teams. In the case of Nongshim and Live Sandbox, both of them went from the bottom 4 to regional finals over the last 13 weeks or so of regular season play. Nongshim were 5-9, so they were the best team on this board. And they made a couple changes. They went from Bay in mid lane, who I don't know who Bay plays for now. He might be on a Challengers roster in CK, or he may be in a minor region. He did kick around. He went to PSG after this. And then Gory, who is now on CFO Flying Oyster, but played on Golden Guardians, played on FPX after his Nongshim time and PSG. But Gory replaced Bay, and that was the only roster change. And they went on to get to regional finals. Comet joined as an assistant coach as well. and maybe their impact was massive in getting the team over the hump. And then Liv Sandbox again. They were 4-10, and the same thing that happened in 2022 had happened in 2021, which I thought was kind of ironic. They were using Leo and Root at 80 carry. Root now on Team Loud and CB Lull. And Leo, I think, might be in ERLs or Japan, one or the other. Were replaced by Prince. Yeah, so they went with 2 different 80 carries in spring in both 2021 and 2022 just to decide to go with Prince in summer, and Prince and the roster would find a way to get to regional finals. So the last 3 years, we have teams from the bottom 4 that end up supplanting a team above them. KDF may be that team this year for sure, in the top 6 that are shaky. The other 5 teams have good pieces, right? Really not imploding like the Nongshim roster. I would say the Nongshim roster of 2022 and 2021 had really good players on it. You know, Peanut in Jungle, Duck Dom at 80 carry in the case of 2022, maybe even been 2021 as well. So if I had to go with who of these 4 teams I think would be the one, it would be Fear X. Closer is a pretty damn good laner. Very underrated in that regard. Willer has some really nice moments, and maybe if you can string together more of those in summer, they can get better clear in top lane. Who knows? Maybe they find a better top laner. I always am on clear, and maybe that's not fair to him. The bot lane of Henna and Execute just need more time together. There are probably better 80 carries out there, but at the same time, I don't think that they're going to they're really going to get creative when it comes to their roster, whereas a team like DRX, I could see them making some changes. Bro have shown already that they are ready to make changes, with Samver and Palu being in the bot lane, and Samver now being benched for Envy again, but Palu staying in the lineup at last I saw, and or at least last I remembered. And they also have swapped out junglers at times. So Bro are impatient right now, which is probably a good thing, because the team has been in the bottom 4 2 of the last 3 years and not gotten to regional finals as a result. And I don't think they got in 2022 either. So they definitely change would be good, because they don't change their management, which is what screws them anyways. Nongshim, like DRX, very young roster. I doubt they make changes. They're kind of just riding it out now. And to see what happens, maybe full committal to call me in mid, which is pretty much what they've done already. Yeah, so comment down below with which of these 4 teams you think has the best chance to be the one that gets to regional finals. If you go with the none of them will, because I think none of them will, I'm going to be like, okay, well, why do you think that? Not just, I think, therefore it is. No, like, you know, I have, in my opinion, some history to go off of here as to why I believe one of the 4 are going to find a way. And I'm going to go with Fear X as my guess. But, yeah, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.